There's a moment in the night when the whole world seems to fall silent. Voices fade, notifications cease, the day's worries stop competing for attention. It's in this almost sacred interval that many hearts open up with greater truth. It was there, in the quiet of the early morning, that you prayed. And there's something very important you need to know. What was said in tears, what was thought in silence, what you believed no one heard, was received. You may have wondered if you were talking to yourself. Perhaps you felt the weight of doubt. Is anyone really listening? But what I'm about to reveal to you may change everything. Prayer offered in the early morning hours carries a special power because it springs from a heart without masks. When everyone is asleep, you don't need to feign strength. You don't need to maintain a persona. You simply are. And it is in this state of truth that heaven acts with greater precision. The angels followed every word that came out of your mouth. They noticed the tremor in your voice. They saw when you tried to be strong and couldn't. They saw when you promised to keep going, even without understanding how. Have you ever realized that certain coincidences in your life are not mere coincidences? That unexpected call, that persistent thought not to give up, that deliverance you almost didn't notice. None of that happened by chance. There are invisible movements happening all around you. Even when you feel like you're standing still, something is being organized. Even when everything seems delayed, adjustments are being made. But that's not all. There's something even deeper happening. Your early morning prayer wasn't just a request, it was a surrender. It was an acknowledgement that you need help. And when someone sincerely acknowledges this, doors begin to open. Perhaps you don't see the results yet, but spiritual decisions are being made in your favor. You asked for direction. You asked for an answer. You asked for a sign. And now, that message has reached you at the right time. But you need to act with care. Because when the answer starts to come, it doesn't always appear in the way we imagine. Sometimes it comes as a simple opportunity. Sometimes as an unexpected change of course. Sometimes as the closure of something you wanted to keep. The angels want you to understand. The answer has already begun. Even if it's not yet complete, it's underway. Something is being aligned that will require courage from you. And here's a direct question. Are you ready to receive what you asked for? We often ask for change but resist it when it begins. We ask for growth but fear the discomfort it brings. We ask for open doors but hesitate to walk through them. Your prayer has been heard, but the transformation you asked for also requires your participation. Before continuing the message, write this mantra in the comments. I trust in the celestial plans and accept the work of angels in my life. Now, continuing the message, writing this mantra is not just a symbolic gesture, it's a declaration. It's a way to align your mind with what is already being prepared. And if you feel that this word speaks directly to you, take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel and share in the comments what you have been experiencing. Your experience may be the confirmation that another person is waiting for. There's a detail you may not have noticed. That recent restlessness, that feeling that something is about to happen, isn't ordinary anxiety. It's spiritual perception. Something is moving. You've been sustained this far by a force greater than you can imagine. Remember that particular night, the one when you said you were tired of fighting alone, the one when you almost gave up but decided to pray anyway. That's where a line was drawn. Not to mark the end, but to mark the beginning of a new phase. The angels recorded your cry. And when a cry is born of truth, it doesn't remain suspended in the void. It generates a response. It may not be instantaneous, but it's inevitable. There's a difference between delay and abandonment. You haven't been abandoned. Perhaps what is happening now is preparation. Preparation of your heart. Preparation of the circumstances. Preparation of the people who will cross your path. Because what you asked for involves more than you imagine. It involves connections, opportunities, and even protections you didn't even know you needed. But pay attention to this. Don't back down from the faith you demonstrated that morning. Don't let courage turn into doubt. Your prayer was a milestone. And the angels are working, so that you will soon see clear signs that something has changed. Stay alert, stay strong, keep believing. Because the night you cried wasn't a moment of weakness. It was an invisible turning point. And what's being prepared might be bigger than you asked for, but that will be revealed in due time. When you finished that prayer in the early morning, you may have felt a small relief, as if you had unloaded an invisible weight. However, a silent question may also have arisen. And now, this question echoed within you in the following days. Because praying is opening your heart, but waiting for the answer requires trust. And it is precisely here that something extraordinary begins to happen. The angels want you to understand a profound truth. No sincere prayer goes unanswered. Some answers come like doors that open quickly. Others arrive as processes that reorganize everything around them. And there's a detail that few notice. Sometimes before the visible answer, an invisible cleansing takes place. Have you noticed unexpected departures? Changes in behavior in people close to you? Plans that seemed certain and suddenly lost momentum? This doesn't mean loss. It means adjustment. What is misaligned needs to go so that what was needed can come in. What I'm about to reveal to you may explain a lot. When you prayed that morning, you didn't just ask for a solution. You asked for transformation, and transformation requires movement. Sometimes heaven removes distractions before delivering promises. Sometimes it prepares you before preparing the blessing. Something is being organized that involves your emotional future and your stability. Perhaps it's related to a decision you've been putting off. Maybe it involves a conversation you know you need to have. Maybe it's a professional step that requires courage. Whatever it is, guidance is being provided. But pay attention. The answer you asked for will require a stance. It won't simply fall into your lap without you having to act. You will be guided, but you will also need to walk the path. Now, before we continue this message, write 777 in the comments to make a claim. This number symbolizes spiritual confirmation and alignment. By writing it, you declare that you are ready to receive clear direction. And if this message has spoken to your heart, please also consider supporting this channel with a super thank you, with whatever amount you feel in your heart. This gesture helps keep these words reaching people who, like you, are seeking light and answers. Your contribution keeps this mission alive and strengthens this chain of faith. Returning to the message, have you noticed that some answers come disguised as challenges? Perhaps what's bothering you now is precisely the push you need to get out of your comfort zone. Not every answer comes across as pleasant at first. The angels are reinforcing something important. Don't confuse silence with inaction. What is being prepared requires precision. There are details being adjusted behind the scenes of your life. Remember when you asked for peace? True peace sometimes requires breaking away from environments that drain your energy. Remember when you asked for prosperity? Prosperity requires a new mindset. Remember when you asked for sincere love? Sincere love requires inner healing before external connection. Something is healing inside you. Old wounds are being treated, even if you still feel the scars. And here's a question that might change your perception. What if the answer you're waiting for isn't just external, but internal? Perhaps the greatest miracle has already begun. Perhaps you are stronger than you were a few months ago. Perhaps you are saying no to what you previously accepted out of fear. Perhaps you are beginning to value yourself more. That too is an answer, but that's not all. There's an even clearer confirmation approaching, a concrete sign, a situation that will make you remember this message and say, that was it. In the coming days, be alert for unexpected opportunities. Pay attention to unlikely invitations. Pay attention to thoughts that arise repeatedly with unusual clarity. Guidance will not come with confusion. It will come with quiet conviction. You haven't been forgotten. You haven't been ignored. That early morning marked the beginning of a silent reorganization, and there is protection all around you. Deliverances are happening without you even realizing it. If you feel this message confirms something that was already in your heart, share your experience in the comments. Your testimony can strengthen someone else who is on the verge of giving up. Stay strong, stay alert, stay confident, because what began in that prayer is still in motion, and the next step might surprise you. There is a crucial moment between the promise and the fulfillment, the interval of trust. It is precisely in this space that you find yourself now. The prayer has been offered, the plea has been delivered, the signs have begun to appear. But there is still a space between what was asked for and what will be fully experienced. And it is here that many give up. But you haven't come this far to retreat. The angels want you to understand something that can transform your perception. The time it takes to respond is not wasted. It's a process of building. Each passing day is shaping you to sustain what you asked for. Because receiving is easy, Maintaining is the real challenge. You asked for something big, perhaps not in exaggerated words, but in the depth of your feeling, and that which springs from the depths of the soul requires a strong structure to endure. You are being strengthened, even if you don't realize it. New thoughts are emerging within you. Ideas that once seemed distant are now beginning to appear possible. Courage that was previously lacking is starting to emerge in small gestures. This is not by chance. This is preparation. But here's an important warning. Don't let outside voices weaken the conviction that was born that morning. Not everyone will understand your change. Not everyone will understand your decisions. And that's okay. What was discussed in spiritual intimacy doesn't need public validation. Before continuing with the message, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. This helps us continue creating meaningful content for you. By subscribing, you strengthen this chain of light and allow more people to receive words that can transform destinies. Now, continuing with the message, something is also aligning in the realm of relationships. People who vibrate at the same frequency as you will begin to draw closer. Conversations that build up will replace dialogues that wear you down. You are entering a cycle where connections will be more conscious, but something even deeper is happening. Your perception is being refined. What once confused you is now beginning to become clear. Situations that once generated anxiety are now awakening discernment. This is real growth. Have you noticed how certain situations have begun to lose their power to shake you? What once kept you awake at night now only calls your attention to act with maturity. This is one of the greatest signs that your prayer is having an effect. Perhaps you're still waiting for a specific answer. Perhaps you're waiting for something concrete, professional confirmation, emotional restoration, a financial solution. And yes, practical answers are being organized. But what's being formed within you is even more valuable, because when the opportunity arrives, and it will, you will no longer be the same person who prayed that morning. You will be stronger, more aware, more prepared. There is also active protection all around you. Hasty decisions are being avoided. Paths that could cause pain are being blocked. You may even have felt frustrated that something didn't happen the way you wanted. But looking ahead, you will understand that you were taken care of. What I'm about to reveal to you requires your attention. The next steps will depend on your willingness to act with practical faith. Faith is not just waiting, it's also moving when the direction becomes clear. Have you felt an urge to organize something, to start something, to finish something? Don't ignore that feeling. Often, the answer begins with a simple action that seems small but triggers big changes. A cycle is coming to an end, not abruptly but naturally, and another is beginning to take shape. You are being led to an environment of greater balance, but that's not all. There's an emotional reward in store for you, a sense of peace that won't depend on external circumstances, an inner security that won't be easily shaken. Keep paying attention to the signs, keep nurturing constructive thoughts, keep choosing attitudes that reflect the person you are becoming. Because the early morning prayer was the starting point for something that will reveal surprising developments in the future, and what is about to happen may confirm, beyond any doubt, that you were never alone. Now you begin to realize that nothing was in vain. Every tear shed that morning had meaning. Every word spoken with a choked voice was recorded. Every second you thought about giving up but decided to continue built something invisible, yet real. And what is about to happen will be no small thing. There is a final alignment happening. Like pieces that fit together after being out of place for a long time, circumstances are adjusting. Perhaps you don't yet see the complete picture, but you can already notice that something has changed within you. And this inner change is the first visible sign that the answer is materializing. The angels want you to understand the dawn prayer activated protection, guidance, and provision. 3 areas began to move simultaneously. Protection to prevent you from entering into situations that would not sustain your future. Guidance to guide your choices with more clarity. Provision to ensure that nothing essential is lacking at the right time. Have you ever noticed how certain doors that seemed promising closed unexpectedly? At the time it may have hurt, it may have seemed frustrating, but today you begin to see that it prevented something bigger. That's what care is. Something else is being restored. It could be your confidence, it could be your self-esteem, it could be the hope that had weakened. That early morning marked the end of a period of silent decline, and the beginning of a firm reconstruction. But pay attention to what I'm about to say. The confirmation you're waiting for may come in a simple way. Don't expect something too grand to recognize the celestial action. Sometimes the answer comes in the form of sudden tranquility, sometimes as a practical solution that resolves what was stuck, sometimes as a conversation that changes everything. You asked for a sign, and it's already starting to appear. Maybe you're still doubting, but synchronicities are happening, thoughts repeating themselves, people mentioning exactly what you've been reflecting on, opportunities arising from where you least expected them. But this requires emotional vigilance. Don't let fear sabotage what is being delivered. Fear may try to convince you that it's too early to believe. It may suggest that it's better not to get your hopes up. However, there is a difference between illusion and grounded faith. And what you are experiencing is not an illusion. There is also an important decision approaching. It will require maturity and firmness. Perhaps it will involve choosing what is right instead of what is comfortable. Perhaps it will involve saying yes to something new or saying no to something old. Trust me, you will know when the time is right, because the same sensitivity that led you to pray that morning will now guide you in making the right choice. The angels reinforce this. You were not ignored. The silence that followed the prayer was not empty. It was strategic preparation, it was setting the stage, it was invisible protection. And here's a final revelation that may change your perspective. The answer that's coming won't just solve a specific problem. It will open a more stable cycle, a period where you'll feel less turbulence and more security. This doesn't mean an absence of challenges, but it means sufficient strength to face them without despair. Continue cultivating thoughts of confidence. Continue taking small actions consistent with what you asked for. Continue aligning your choices with the person you decided to be that morning. You are no longer the same person you were before that prayer. There is more awareness. There is more maturity. There is more discernment. And that is an essential part of the answer. In the coming days, something will clearly catch your attention. It could be news. It could be a proposal. It could be an internal change that will bring lasting conviction. When that happens, you will remember this moment, and you will understand that heaven was never far away. There is one more detail that cannot be overlooked. The answer that is approaching will not only alleviate momentary pain, but will establish a new pattern in your life. You will not return to the previous point. There is a before and an after that early morning, and you have already crossed that line. Perhaps you felt in recent days a kind of test, situations that seemed to provoke precisely the areas where you felt most vulnerable. This wasn't a setback. It was confirmation of your strengthening. What once would have made you crumble now only makes you reflect. What once robbed you of your peace now only demands a stance. This is real growth. There is also a silent restoration happening in your confidence. You begin to realize that you can handle challenges with more composure. You start to see solutions where before you only saw obstacles. You begin to understand that your strength does not depend on perfect circumstances. And something important needs to be said. The answer that comes will not require you to force yourself to believe. It will bring natural clarity. You will feel safe. You will feel confident. You will feel that somehow this has been in the works for a long time. Have you noticed how certain negative thoughts have lost intensity? How that constant feeling of urgency has given way to a calmer expectation? This is a sign that your mind is being reorganized. There is also continuous protection all around you. Hasty decisions are being avoided. People with confused intentions are naturally distancing themselves. Paths that could lead to regret are being closed without you having to fight. And it all started with that sincere conversation in the early hours of the morning. You were not ignored, you were welcomed, you were heard, and you are being guided. Over the next few days, watch for small signs of confirmation. They may seem simple, but they will bring an inner feeling of certainty. Don't ignore this feeling, it will be your guide. Continue to maintain attitudes consistent with what you asked for. If you asked for peace, choose healthy environments. If you asked for prosperity, develop discipline. If you asked for true love, cultivate self-love. The external response goes hand in hand with your internal state. Stability is approaching. Clarity is being established. A sense of belonging is forming. And when everything is visible, you will look back and understand that the silence was not absence. It was careful preparation. Stay strong. What's coming is consistent, and you are ready to live. If this message resonated with you and your situation, write in the comments, "My prayer has been heard and my answer is on its way." Share your experiences in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.